What's going on, everyone? Lullet here. We're officially monetized, which means we're making money from those ads we see on these videos from YouTube. In the effort of learning, transparency, and just info in general for you to potentially make more money in life, what we're going to cover is how YouTube monetization works, as well as how much YouTube paid me exactly after 1 month on the platform after getting monetized. And then finally, a more deep dive kind of dashboard view of exactly how it looks like, whether you're on the path to monetization or considering it. So you'll get that extra detail as well and some considerations if you're thinking of going along this path. And right before we get into it, if you're a returning viewer and seen any of my videos, thank you so much, because the monetization wouldn't happen without that. And most importantly, if you're a subscriber to the channel, thank you, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And with that, we'll get straight into it. When it comes to making money from YouTube, you have different streams of revenue. For example, sponsorships, partnerships, affiliate marketing, as well as the actual ads themselves that play on videos. We'll specifically be going over the revenue generated by these ads, and it's a part of a program known as YouTube's Partner Program. To be approved for YouTube's Partner Program, you're going to need 1,000 subscribers as well as 4,000 watch hours in a rolling 12-month period. 4,000 watch hours is 240,000 minutes. So for example, if you're making 10-minute videos on average and you have a completion rate of, let's say, 30%, that's basically 3 minutes on average per view. And so 240,000 minutes divided by 3 minutes is going to mean 80Ks to get you monetized eligible, given you have those 1,000 subscribers. For context, let's say you have 50% instead of that 30%. Now we're talking about 5 minutes on average per view. So 240K minutes divided by 5 minutes is going to be 48,000 views cumulatively in that same rolling 12-month period. In terms of how it actually works, the ads that are shown in the beginning or middle or at the end of videos, Google, aka the owner of YouTube, they're getting 45%, and the creator who creates those videos keeps 55%. Simply put, if YouTube's getting $10 in revenue for the ads that are being shown, a creator gets $5.50 and Google keeps $4.50. How much revenue YouTube gets for these ads? It comes down to something known as CPM, which stands for cost per mil. Essentially cost per 1,000, which is how much an advertiser is willing to pay to show their ad to 1,000 people. CPMs can vary heavily, and it comes down to a multitude of factors, from maybe which country it's shown in to which type of specific demographic you're trying to target, and also just ad friendliness. For example, if there's a lot of swearing or inappropriateness, then advertisers may not even want to advertise on those type of videos, or if they do, it may be a lot cheaper, which means that CPM would be a lot lower, which indirectly means a creator would be paid out even lesser than what it'd be for a more ad-friendly type of video. And when we talk about CPMs varying heavily, we're talking it could be maybe $2 for 1,000 views. It could be $100 for 1,000 views. It just depends on the advertiser themselves. And what's more important is there's the cost per mil, which is essentially the cost for the advertiser. But there's another metric known as RPM, which is revenue per mil, which is what we as the creator receive in terms of revenue. And those numbers may not be the same in terms of an exact split. So for example, if the CPM is $10 per 1,000 views, the cost for the advertiser, the revenue, even though 55% is $5.50, really, if you have multiple ads, let's say in a video, but all those ads aren't seen by your viewer, then that RPM may be less than that 55% figure. So instead of keeping $5.50 on $10, it may be even lesser, but how much exactly lesser? It's really unsure, and it can vary heavily just depending on how far along in the video someone gets, and also how many ads you have in the video, etc. An easy way where I got to wrap my head around why CPMs can vary so heavily is just tracking the flow of money. Advertising is essentially a customer acquisition cost. So for example, if let's say a toy costs $2 to make and the selling price is $10. In this case, there's actual potential of $8 to be made, assuming no other costs. Like this, if an advertiser paid, let's say, $100 to advertise this toy with the potential of $8 to be made, now this 1,000 people, let's say 1% of them convert into actual folks that are buying this product. Just an example, 1% of 1,000 folks is 10 people. And so if 10 people buy this product with $8 of profit, then that's $80 of profit. But the advertising cost was $100 to begin with. So in this situation, it's actually more expensive to advertise than what money is able to be received. On the other end, let's say we're talking about online courses being advertised on these videos. After the first initial cost, really there's not a next step cost or a variable cost after the fact. It's usually assumed to be negligible, essentially almost zero. These courses may have a price tag that's in the range of maybe $999 or $1,999. It could be a lot more, it could also be a bit less, but even if we say, let's say it's $500 for this XYZ course, then if you have a 1% conversion rate of 1,000 ad impressions, we're talking about 10 folks buying a $500 product, which is $5,000 in revenue right there. And with the cost being almost zero, it's $5,000 of pure profit at the cost of even to advertise at $100 or $200 to 1,000 folks. It's definitely more worth it than not. Both of these situations are just purely examples, but also very real just to bring this point home. This channel has primarily finance-related content, but at the same time, I have some older videos of non-finance type of content. So we'll look at what those CPMs look like versus what finance-related CPMs look like. And also within finance, there's different niches, and those CPMs can vary as well. So with that, we'll look into some examples, and I'll see you on the other side. So looking at our first example, this is a 1 minute and 1 second video posted 10 years ago. First video on the channel, and it's a video of me beatboxing, and I still beatbox to this day. Okay, so with that being said, we got 1 view in the last 28 days, and estimated revenue of 0.003 cents, so less than a penny. And if you can flip over to the revenue tab, the CPM, it's $2.50, so this is going to be 1,000 ad impressions. So the rate going at $2.50 and my estimated revenue 0.003. And if you look at RPM, it's basically the revenue per mil. So $3 over here is essentially 1,000 times what this estimated revenue would be, which checks out in terms of math in this case. So just remember this $2.50 CPM number as it's kind of context for what finance type of CPMs look like. And within finance, different niches pay different amounts, which we'll look into as well. So let's take a look. So this video is more representative of what the finance category would pay, and within that, the credit card niche. So with 1157 views, we earned $14.47. And looking at the revenue in terms of CPM, you're looking at $26.31. Now, this may not be the same for every single credit card video, but maybe in this range potentially, and this is at least what I've noticed so far. And RPM-wise, $12.60 for every 1,000 views. And we said estimated revenue, it checks out at $14.47. Briefly covering revenue sources, there's estimated ad revenue where folks are actually watching ads, so that's $14.06, and then premium revenue of 40 cents. And YouTube premium revenue, they're folks that basically don't see ads, but because of their monthly fee, there's still a share with the creators themselves in terms of minutes watched per their videos divided by their total fees. So for example, Spotify or Skillshare, off of that X amount monthly fee, depending on how many listens to a certain song by a certain creator, that would be divvied up in a certain fashion from that monthly fee and whatever cut Google takes, aka YouTube. In terms of ad types, there's skippable ads, non-skippable ads. So there's other types of ads, not just the ads themselves, but in which fashion do you see them? And there's different breakouts in terms of revenue that's received through each of those quote unquote streams of revenue through YouTube AdSense itself. For the video of me beatboxing, we're looking at a CPM of $2.50. But with this CPM for credit cards, you're talking more than 10x at $26.31. And so going to our next example, it's going to be a different type of topic on the channel where it's more about cryptocurrency and options trading. So on that side, whether it's stock market options or cryptocurrency options, they may differ heavily. And looking at this example, only off of 259 views, it's $6.03. So literally then going over to the revenue, for example, 48.74. So it's almost double that type of credit card CPM that you're seeing. And RPM wise, it's very similar as well. So for 1,000 views, advertisers are paying $48.74. But looking at this drill down view, there are days, for example, if we press CPM over here, where advertisers are paying $204 for 1,000 people to see this type of content, $143, $161, $199 for 1,000 impressions. So with that, getting an estimated revenue of $6.03 on only 259 views, it's quite crazy if you think about it, where there are videos that get like millions of views. So just imagine how much revenue that those type of videos are getting. And so looking at the revenue sources, again, there's some breakout over here, and ad types as well. It's a little different from your credit card type videos. And I've noticed that different categories of videos have different type of ad type breakouts and otherwise. So getting into how much YouTube paid me for a month, we'll be looking at 3 views. It's going to be the 11th of the month when I got monetized till the end of the month. So not a whole 28 days per se. And then on the second view, it's going to be the actual 28-day view of how much YouTube paid me in my first month. And then finally, it's been a few more days since that exact 1 month time frame. So we're also going to look at how much YouTube paid me, especially given my upload frequency. So from the 11th of the month to the 30th of the month, first day of monetization was $4.44. And then from there, $3.58. I uploaded, and it was $7.42 that first day and $7.53. And it was a new credit card video at the time. So definitely a lot more kind of search and news related type videos, so a lot more views. And then from there, it kind of went to 743 to 493 to 289, 384, $5 even, 470, 267 to 367, 367 again, so same back to back. Then I uploaded, then I went up to 656, and then it kind of, teeters down, goes up a little, goes up, goes down. It's like this. So in the first month of being monetized by YouTube, I was paid exactly $132.91. And as we can see, essentially upload days, there's more revenue just because more views on average. And so as we see over here, 595, it kind of downtrends a little, and on upload a little more. And the final view just filtered out to the last 90 days. Even though we haven't been monetized that long, essentially 151.64 cents. And so in those last few days over here, just after being monetized the last 7 days, for example, we're looking at 271, 416, 467, 282, 229, 208. And so naturally, if there's uploads, it kind of can go up. But I've been seeing kind of this, all right, $2 seems kind of the support if you look at it from a graph perspective. And then the resistance, it's kind of what you make it, because if you work it, you can keep on going, and then it only goes up. Obviously, you gotta, be friendly to the algorithm. Folks have to like your content. But at the same time, there's definitely potential to how much work you put into YouTube is definitely maybe what you can see as your output and what you're actually keeping. And what's really good to know and important to know if you're thinking of, going down this route is in December, the ad rates are the heaviest. At least that's what I've heard from other creators. I don't have really another month to compare too much. So let's see how it looks like in future months. But with that, this is exactly how it looks like. And thanks for coming to the end. See you soon enough.